Blue Rare Wagyu beef. Blue Rare Wagyu is cooked for under 2 minutes total. The outside is seared at maximum heat. The inside remains cold and completely raw. Wagyu fat melts at body temperature, which means the intramuscular fat in a Blue Rare Wagyu steak begins dissolving the moment it touches your tongue, before you fully bite into it. A5 Wagyu served Blue Rare is considered by Japanese beef specialists to be the correct preparation for the highest grade cuts because heat destroys the fat structure that makes the meat worth its price. A steak that costs hundreds of dollars per 100 grams is best eaten almost entirely raw. Most people who pay that price choose medium rare anyway, and the Japanese beef community considers this a tragedy.
Raw chicken sashimi. Raw chicken sashimi exists in Japan and almost nowhere else. Called torisashi, it is served at specialist restaurants in Kagoshima Prefecture using chickens raised under specific biosecurity conditions that reduce salmonella risk to levels considered acceptable by Japanese food safety authorities. The chickens are slaughtered to order and served within hours. Japanese food safety regulators have debated banning it for decades. It remains legal in specific regions under strict conditions. Every food safety authority outside Japan considers this unacceptable. Every food safety authority inside Japan considers the regional tradition worth preserving. Raw chicken sashimi is the most controversial food legally served in any developed country, and the debate about whether it should exist has never been resolved.
Really rare pork. Rare pork was considered dangerous for most of the 20th century due to trichinella, a parasite found in undercooked pork that caused widespread illness before modern farming eliminated it from commercial pork supplies. The USDA officially lowered the safe internal temperature for whole pork cuts from 71 to 63 degrees Celsius in 2011, acknowledging that modern commercial pork no longer carries the same risk. Pink pork is now considered safe by food safety authorities. Most Americans still cook pork to gray out of habit formed over generations of safety warnings that no longer apply. Chefs who serve properly cooked medium pork still spend time reassuring customers that the pink color is intentional and the kitchen has not made a mistake. Bone Marrow Canoes. Beef bone marrow was considered peasant food for most of Western culinary history because it required cracking bones that butchers discarded after selling the meat. The marrow, a rich, fatty substance that produces blood cells in living animals, roasts into a gelatinous, butter-like consistency with a flavor more intense than any meat cut. British chef Fergus Henderson put roasted bone marrow on the menu at St. John Restaurant in London in 1994, and food writers declared it a revelation. Within a decade, bone marrow had migrated from butcher scraps to upscale restaurant menus globally at prices that would have confused the peasants who ate it first. Bone marrow canoes, split lengthwise and roasted, are now a standard dish at American steakhouses, where they cost more per gram than the steaks served alongside them.
Dry-aged beef, 100 days. Standard dry aging runs between 21 and 45 days. Aging beef for 100 days is considered extreme by most standards and produces a product so transformed from fresh beef that some tasters describe it as a different food entirely. The exterior develops a thick crust of mold and dried matter that must be trimmed away before cooking, resulting in significant weight loss that makes 100-day aged beef among the most expensive cuts available. The flavor compounds produced by extended enzymatic activity create notes that professional tasters describe as blue cheese, nuts, and umami of unusual intensity. Restaurants that serve 100-day aged beef charge prices that reflect both the ingredient cost and the theater of presenting something that has been in controlled decomposition for over 3 months.
Venison carpaccio. Carpaccio was invented at Harry's Bar in Venice in 1950 by Giuseppe Cipriani for a countess whose doctor had forbidden cooked meat. Cipriani named the dish after the Renaissance painter Vittore Carpaccio, whose works featured deep reds. The original was beef. Venison carpaccio applies the same technique to deer, slicing the raw loin paper thin and serving it with olive oil, capers, and shaved Parmesan.
Wild venison contains virtually no saturated fat, making it one of the leanest proteins available from any animal. The combination of lean wild game served completely raw with aged Italian cheese creates a flavor contrast that beef carpaccio cannot replicate. A dish invented for a countess with dietary restrictions became a fine dining staple using an ingredient her doctor probably would have approved.
Smoked beef brisket. Texas smoked brisket is the most studied and debated barbecue preparation in American food culture. A full Packer brisket weighs between 8 and 16 pounds and requires 12 to 16 hours of oak smoke at 225 degrees to reach the internal temperature where the collagen converts to gelatin and the point and flat become sliceable. The bark, the dark exterior crust of rendered fat and dried spice rub, is considered a delicacy by barbecue purists. Franklin BBQ in Austin, Texas has had lines beginning before dawn every day since it opened in 2009. A single restaurant selling smoked brisket has generated more food journalism per square foot than almost any other restaurant in American history. People wait 4 hours for it. Nobody has reported regretting the wait.
Snake River Wagyu. Snake River Farms in Idaho produces American Wagyu by crossing Japanese Wagyu genetics with American Black Angus cattle. The resulting beef has significantly higher marbling than standard American beef, while remaining more affordable than imported Japanese A5. Snake River Farms supplies some of the most respected restaurants in the United States and has won more awards at the Kobe Beef Association's international competitions than any other American producer. American Wagyu occupies a specific market position between commodity beef and Japanese luxury beef that did not exist before Snake River created it. A cattle ranch in Idaho entering competitions organized by a Japanese beef association and winning represents one of the more unexpected outcomes in modern agricultural history.
The burnt burger. The burnt burger is a burger patty cooked past well done until the exterior is genuinely charred and carbonized. It is the choice of a specific type of customer who orders it knowing exactly what they want and does not require the kitchen's opinion on the matter. Professional cooks find this request difficult to fulfill without expressing visible discomfort. The Maillard reaction that produces a proper crust operates between 140 and 165 degrees Celsius. Above that temperature, the same compounds that create flavor begin breaking down into bitter carbon. A burnt burger is technically beyond the range of controlled cooking. Some people prefer it. Food science has no explanation for this that satisfies everyone involved.